Namaste, my beautiful queens, colleagues. This video, I will not do any spreads. These are just the cards which showing very dangerous situations. And this video, I hope at least 1, 2, 3 of you would listen. Those who either read cards for people or those who are going or have such intention to read cards for people. I didn't prepare any speech. I will say, as always, whatever is in my heart. The thing is that many people choose this. This is not a game, my beautiful queens. This is not a game. This is a very old, very ancient, very serious system. And this system requires years of deep research. I have tarot readers, colleagues, which after being in this system, studying it for 20, 30 years, have under their belt psychology degree, philosophy degree, symbology degrees. This is the school connected with every esoteric subject. This goes back thousands of years. This is connected with astrology, theology, mythology, theosophy, so on and so on. This is not the game. This is not just like you go like this and you make up something out of it. If you are very skilled, if you someone who has a very good imagination, for example, you write fairy tales or you paint, you can make up anything. You don't even have to know like some of the readers think that they don't have to know anything. All you do, you just spread the cards and make up something what sounds good. My dear colleagues, those who are going to become the part of this profession, I must tell you something extremely important. Please understand. Please understand it and please hear me. I don't watch, I rather never watch YouTube videos with tarot cards. I make them, but I don't watch them. Recently, I was sent the channel of one reader who has tremendous amount of she's a 2-3 language speaker, so she has the channels in all 3 languages. She has about over 500,000 subscribers, and one of the subscriber of this woman, she sent me several of her videos. You know how I reacted? I could not sleep for literally 2 nights. I was shaking like this, because a woman who presents herself as someone with 30 years experience, in who claims that this is like she has such a deep school. I saw her reading. I couldn't believe my ears and my eyes, because 7 of Swords, those of you who watch my videos enough, what do you see on this card? Just one card example. This man, in the middle of the night, before closer to sunrise, he gets into the place where the enemies, it's like the warriors and the warriors, he comes covered up to the standing position of the enemies. In the night, he steals the swords. For what? So when they attack in the morning his group of warriors, when they attack them unexpectedly, those are gonna be weaponless because he steals the weapon. They gonna attack them, and those will not even have a chance to fight. This is such a horrific card. And imagine, I'm just giving you one example. And this woman, you know how she read this card? Just one example. She didn't read a single card correctly. She said, he's very sorry for what he had done to you, and he wants to ask your forgiveness. When she sees this card, can you imagine this card to be connected with someone wanting to ask for forgiveness? The card which is connected with deceit, with lie, with the worst thing one human being can do to the other. This is how she read it. This is one of the reasons I do not watch other readers. I don't tell you all of them like this. No, I don't tell you this. I would never tell you this. But unfortunately, there are several good ones, but unfortunately there are those, most of those I had seen, because when I started my channel I wanted to see how they do it, so I could, because I started with nothing, was pretty much what I started with. This is what I have. I only had myself and my decks and a lamp, which I still have, and this elephant I got later. So unfortunately, for someone who knows tarot cards at least somehow, watching such readings, it makes you so sad. And I will explain you why it makes me so sad. I want to explain you why you please never do this. I understand, of course, when you do general reading, you do a reading for several thousand people, probably for, I don't know, 10,000 people, 20,000 people. My video, I bet I can shock you. It's over 500,000 or something like this viewers. I could never imagine something like this. Of course, it cannot be true. It is, yes, for entertainment purposes. Yes, it's done for entertainment purposes. But even if I do it for entertainment purposes, when it's gonna be a devil, I will tell you what devil means. If it's gonna be Seven of Swords, I will tell you exactly what Seven of Swords means. You might like what I say, you might not, but the cards have to be interpreted. Why? Because if you, I believe that you click that video, then something you need to get out of this video. And I know that maybe 1, 2 of you, maybe 10,000 of you gonna see this, gonna see me and hear me explaining this man the way he is. You will not take it into consideration and just brush it off. You're just gonna take good things and you just gonna brush off the rest of it. But maybe one of you is gonna look at it and memorize the card and get it into her heart. So when she's gonna go meet that guy in 2 days, she is gonna pay attention to red flags, because part of her is gonna say, oh, this is just a YouTube video or whatever, but part of her is gonna be on alert. And because she might pay attention to the red flags of that man, because those you can catch him if it's love relationship. You can find this man, they are gaslighters. You can find this man in a bed with a woman. He will convince you that he's sick and that was a nurse. She's doing a massage. okay? Some specific type of massage. Even if you catch him by a hand, he will wiggle out of it. He will wiggle out of anything. Lying, pretending, gaslighting is natural, a second nature for them. So if I put this card down and I will show you this card, I'm not gonna tell you nonsense that this man wants to forgive you, or this man wants to ask you for forgiveness, because this is a lie. You need to interpret the cards. When you see a devil, the devil is a devil. Five of Cups is Five of Cups. Page of Swords is not gonna be nice and sweet. He's not gonna be forgiving. He's not gonna be compassionate, as well as this one in reversed position. That if you get this card, you cannot say, oh, these are temporarily problems and soon everything is gonna be fine. You see, just I can make up, don't take me. I can tell you a fairy tale. I can get all of them together and tell you a beautiful story. But what is the point? What is the point? You don't just look at cards. You are someone's answer. You are someone's warning. Please understand it. From 200, maybe you have a small channel. I started with none. I had 5 subscribers. I put my first video and I would come out and tell my kids, guys, I have 5 subscribers. Then, guys, I have 20 subscribers. Guys, I have 50. Mom, you already have 50 subscribers. Yeah, can you imagine? But I would flatly refuse to just, I'm sorry, my language, bullshit. Because I knew and I know it now. The way the card is there, someone watches it just because they have nothing to do, or just to pass the time, for entertainment, for something. We have disclaimer, this is for entertainment. But someone might just put this somewhere in their mind and be alerted. But when you do your private readings, you either fully understand and realize that you are responsible now for this client of yours who comes to you, and you see something in cards like this, and instead of telling a person, a woman, as it is, this is horrific, you're gonna tell her, you know what, things are gonna get better. Because what you want, I want you to understand why. If you tell not what's there, it's gonna be dangerous for you and for the one you read for. I will make it very clear. Usually, a woman comes to a tarot reader if she has a problem. Happy woman in happy relationship, when everything is fine, she is in relationship with someone who treats her right, who cares for her, who is honest. She is not gonna come to a tarot reader, period. Happy woman will not come. Happy woman will come to see how things are going to be. For example, she needs a choice, for example, in her career. Because tarot, you can even, what type of broomstick you want to buy, this one or you can look any question in the tarot cards. Should I fly there? Should I travel there? Should I take this job? Should I buy this apartment? Should I buy a house within the next 6 months? Should I take the loan in a bank? Should I wait? When is going to be a good time? What month is going to be a good time? Any question. But if a woman comes to you, colleagues, with love relationship, that is a problem already there. And she usually, unfortunately, those women who get into horrific, toxic, destructive relationship, This is how their own childhood is being played. This is why psychology, studying psychology, even if you study it on your own, you just ordering all kinds of books online on Amazon, on manipulation, on emotional abuse, on psychological abuse, how to recognize being used, how to see if you're being devalued. These are all those videos I do. You have to understand that you, the one who came to you, she came to you as the last straw. Something was very wrong or is still very wrong. And intuitively, this woman knows. Intuitively, this woman feels when something is wrong. But unfortunately, 98% of them would not even think this whole situation happened because I was abused as a child, because my mother was not emotionally there for me, or my father was never there for me, because our childhood wounds and our childhood traumas, we move in our grown-up life into our relationship. You were abused as a child. You're gonna get yourself a partner who's gonna be abusing you, and you will be staying there because unsubconsciously you're gonna think this is what you deserve, because this is how you were treated as a child. This is why you took this profession. You never stop learning. You need to know psychology. You need to know mythology, astrology, and so on and so on. Because the one who comes to you, in fact, this is such a wounded woman. Because if she got herself in toxic relation, if she came to you, then she most definitely is in some not a working relationship. She comes to you as to the last hope. She knows something is wrong. She knows something is amiss. She knows something is not right. But she was never taught to believe her intuition. She was never explained the self-love, self-value, so on. And she comes to you. Instead of going to a therapist, to a healer, read the book about emotional abuse, giving time to understand her childhood traumas. These all things she doesn't understand. She's in toxic, destructive relationship. She's being abused physically, probably not physically but emotionally, probably treated as an empty space. She comes to you. And this is up to you to look into this situation and to see what is there. And if you are convinced that you just have to tell her whatever, just to calm her down, just to give her hope for something what's not going to happen. Because most of you, queens, most of you do just that. Because I get dozens, sometimes hundreds of emails which come to me and telling me, but I went to that very expensive or that reader. Some women go to 10, 12 readers who all tell them absolute nonsense because they want a client to go away happy. And then when nothing's gonna happen, they're gonna come back because they come for getting the false hope. Of course, they all want to hear what they want to hear. But you are this one person who either can help or can be a reason for a huge tragedy. And I will explain you what I mean. For example, a woman in a relationship with a dark manipulator psychopath. All right? A woman who is the ninth child of poor family, she probably never held a book in her hand or something like this. Not much of knowledge, even though now internet has everything there. Just go ahead and read, just go ahead and listen. This woman, she is in relationship with an abuser, because emotional and psychological abuse is much worse than even physical, but usually it's all combined. She is in relationship with a psychopath, or even just a narcissistic manipulative type. But let's imagine it's a psychopath. She comes to you and she says, I want a reading on this man, how things between me and him are going to be developing. And you see this, and you see this, and you see this, and you see this. How about those three, huh? You don't even have to be a tarot reader to understand this. And you see all these three. But you do not want to tell her, to upset her, because you wanna have a happy client, right? So you just make up something and tell her what she wants to hear, because let's imagine she doesn't know the cards. This is why I teach cards on my Patreon and here as well too. So you know yourself what you are seeing out there. So you see this. And you are no idiot if you take clients, you know something about cards. You know what this means. You gotta have some knowledge, so you know pretty well what that is all gonna be. And you see, but you don't want to make her upset. And you tell her some fairy tale, things are gonna get better, work on yourself, the things are gonna get better. You just have to concentrate on positive. If you have a snake in front of you, cobra, you can as much as rest of eternity to concentrate on positive. That cobra's gonna bite you and you're gonna die. All right? So if you see this, now you must understand. Imagine you see this, but you don't want to upset her. So you tell her some nonsense and things are going to get better. Concentrate and think positive. Now, I'm telling you a real story. I am telling you a real story. She goes home 2 weeks after that reading. This psychopath tries to kill that woman. It's a miracle she survives. He breaks her. She hits her head really hard against the wall and breaks her arm. Neighbors heard the screams. They interfered. Okay? They interfered. And she survived. And she can't even go to that reader and say, because we have disclaimer. Yes, we have disclaimer. But do you have a disclaimer with the higher forces? Do you have a disclaimer with your guides, your keepers, your observers, and your guardians? You don't have disclaimer with them. The guardians, the keepers, the angels, whatever, brought this woman to you. And they showed you the terrifying truth who this woman is dealing with. But you, instead of telling her, honey, sweetheart, run, please run, this man is dangerous. He's dangerous for your life. Instead of that, you tell her, concentrate on positive. So she believes you. She goes home. And imagine, but you will not know about it. You did your reading. You told her everything and you forgot about it. But nothing is forgotten. You know about Akasha Chronicles, right? Everything is written. Whatever you do, what you don't do, what you think, what you don't think. You don't know that woman was killed by the psychopath. But this is what happens. Imagine this. You did a reading. You didn't tell the truth. You didn't say the warning. A woman goes home 2 weeks later being attacked by the psychopath. and gets killed. Of course, no one's going to blame you. No one. No one's going to blame you. No one's going to tell you you're responsible, and you might not even know about it. But the death of that woman is going to lay on your karma, on your destiny, on your life. I don't want to scare you, but this is how things are. Someone comes to you for help. They don't come because they are happy. They don't come because things are nice. If the card show that things are nice, of course you tell them that they are gonna be all right. Of course, I had clients who were thinking that the husband is cheating, and the cards would show that the only love of his entire life is her, and he doesn't even think of cheating. And you see this in card, you tell it to your client. If you see wonderful things, you see great things, you say it. But if you see something like this, you are not stupid if you read the cards for clients or making videos. But if you choose to not interpret and give the warning, please understand that if you don't give this warning, it can end up as tragedy. And you, before the face of higher forces, are going to be responsible for that tragedy. No, not before the people. Of course, you have your disclaimer. Of course, with every reading, you send that disclaimer. This is entertainment purpose only. You interpret it as anyhow you want. But when you do the reading for the client, you are connecting with the energy, with the keepers. That client didn't just come to you randomly. Nothing happens randomly. And if they showed you the warning, they're screaming to you, her guides, please warn her, please tell her. It is up to that woman to believe you or not, to be alerted or not, to choose to stay with the beast, hoping that the beast is going to become a swan or not. This is not your responsibility. People's choices are not your responsibility. You are not responsible for the choices people make based on your reading. But your responsibility to say the warning, to say, honey, you see this card. You see this man standing on a battlefield. He holds the swords in his hand. The swords of people he just killed. Does he have any mercy? Does he have any compassion? Does he have any kindness? No, this is the man you're dealing with. You are playing with the fire. You are walking on eggshells. Can he change? No, they don't change. People don't change. People don't change. People don't change. If you see a devil and 7 of swords there, even worse. So this is your responsibility. Because if you say that warning, you can say, dear Jane, dear Jessica, dear Monica, dear Susanna, dear whatever. This is up to you what you do with what I say, but I have to give you the warning. To the question, who is this man or what this man is going to do, you get this card. You tell her, you see this card, this is what this card means. What you do with this information is up to you. This is your choice, the choices of your life. But you are the one responsible to say the warning. Be careful. If you see this, run. This is what I say in my reading. Honey, dear love, please run. You are in danger. And you know how many times I've got emails in my life. My clients, just after the reading, most of them don't leave happy. No, they don't leave happy. They leave angry. Why? Because they came for me to tell them what they want to hear. But I tell them what is there. They don't leave happy. They leave upset. They leave, like angry, upset. But they take it into consideration and they start watching red flags and they start being careful. And later on, them being careful saves their money, their lives, sometimes in real sense of it, their lives. They start watching and be alerted. And later on, sometimes even like a month, year later, they would write me, you know that you saved my life. I had reading with a woman who had a fairy tale love story. Man wanted to leave his country, marry her, move to her country. She was feeling something was amiss. She wanted a reading. She did 2 readings before me. They all told her everything's going to be fine. I saw a professional thief working in a group. I told her all this. She was unhappy, but she listened to me and she got a private detective. Turned out to be there was a group of thieves. Not only I might have saved her life, her money, her time, heartbreak, just because I did my job. Please do your job, because something happens to those people who you didn't warn. It's gonna lay onto you. It's gonna be your karma. It's gonna be your fault, your responsibility. You got into this profession, get into the core of things. If a woman is alone and she came to you and says, why am I alone? Do the spread. What is the reason of the loneliness? Dig into it. Explain her what she needs to do, what she needs not to do, because the reason of loneliness, go back into the childhood traumas, see what traumas are there, tell her how she can influence it, what she has to do, what she has not to do. Be more to the people who come to you. Be real help if you decided to get into this profession. This is all I wanted to tell you. Namaste.